Ok, entonces esta noche la clase es solo acerca de meditación. Sí, yo sé en la propaganda it was Vajrasattva, pero tenemos un cambio en el tema for esta noche, presencia mental. So in English, tonight we're going to do meditation on mindfulness. And so although the class was advertised as practice of Vajrasattva, because there's some new students, I thought it was much more beneficial to talk about mindfulness. And because they all speak English, and this is two things, it's a meditation class and it's an English class. So at the end I'm going to do a calification on mistakes. No, I'm just joking. Okay. So I am going to do the class in English, so for those of you online, please listen attentively, but I think it's better in English. So, the practice of mindfulness now, although it originally was very strong in India and Asia, I mean whether you talk India or Tibet or China or Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia, all those countries had meditation. It was just part of the religions. When you come to the West, they had prayer, but not exactly meditation. So the tradition of meditation has thousands of years of experience behind it. So it's not something new age or something. It's very, very, has a very good foundation. Okay. And nowadays, with psychology, there's a lot of research into mindfulness. In fact, almost all the big universities now have a department on the mind and mindfulness, at least in the United States and Canada, and I think some of the universities in Mexico too. So mindfulness is a very popular subject, but it has very real benefits, which are not just in religion, but rather very scientific with research and analysis like that. And so some of the benefits of meditation, and the research that I'm relying on said that if you meditated for 15 minutes every day, within 2 months you'll have benefits of it. And there will be things like better management of your stress, your immune system will improve because you're more at peace with yourself, your memory will improve. There's also very good statistics that if you're going to school or college, university, your marks will improve. And it's not just, like, again, religion or benediction de la Dios. No, it's from su propio trabajo in meditation. So that, and there's actually the newest material, only in the last few years, is called Neuroplasticity, which means that actually the physical structure of your brain will change with meditation. I mean, it's significant. It's not, again, it's through research and the MRIs and CTGs and those things that they do, but there's definite a change in the structure of your brain. And so it's really quite significant that what they were doing in India, Tibet, and China for thousands of years actually had significant benefits for those people. Okay. So when we do mindfulness meditation, you don't have to think of it as anything. I like the example of, like, if you took a car and you start it, but you let it just idle, it just peacefully, no stress on the car or anything. And with that, then you might say the car, adjusts itself, fixes itself. Okay, so that's what we do when we meditate. Is we don't like stress ourselves. We don't try to control things. We learn how to relax and be peaceful, not asleep or unconscious, but just being at peace. And the examples they give is like our mind is like open like the space of the sky. So if you think of the beautiful big open blue sky, okay, the thoughts and feelings we have are like clouds. And so if you can start to recognize that, like when you're angry or stressed or such. It's just a temporary thing, like a cloud going through the sky. And so then you don't make it too rigid. You don't exaggerate the feeling of anger or stress or whatever it is. You say, okay, just temporary phenomena. And that's very good. That gives you some personal space. And really meditation, you could say it's getting in touch with yourself peacefully. And by doing that, then you create a personal space, personal buffer, like a defensa. Pero it's tu proprio tranquilidad. Sí, cuando tú tienes una persona enojo o una persona muy agresivo o otra cosa, tú tienes poquito espacio personal for tu propio decisiones. It's no sort of like, like that. It's like, okay, así es, esta persona es muy enojo, una respiración, okay, vámonos. Yo pienso, well, otra cosa. Tengo muchas historias, pero so entonces, so back in English. So when we meditate, it's to be peaceful, like with ourself, like, okay, and when we have thoughts and feelings, it's to not exaggerate them, make them like more real. So, I mean, yes, maybe we have some problem, maybe something at work or maybe in our family, that there's that problem, but that doesn't exist all the time. And so you have to remember, like, okay, in this moment, maybe there's that situation, but I don't need to exaggerate it like it's everything. I can say, okay, just a little bit of breathing, and then, you get a little bit of peace, and then you have this personal space to be able to make better decisions. And that's the real benefit of meditation, that it gives you personal space. Okay, now, the technique that you use is just your breathing, natural breathing. But the special thing is, because you're always doing it, I mean, if you stop, you're dead. Isn't it? Come on, you ought to smile a little bit, okay? It's being happy is important. So anyway, so if you train or make your mind familiar with natural breathing, and you do it in a meditation time. Remember, 15 minutes a day is all you need. That you start to build up a familiarity with your breathing natural, and then a sensation of peace. So if you do that for 2-3 months, then just when you bring your attention to your breathing, automatically you calm down because of the familiarity. So it's no magic. It's just the familiarity with being at peace with yourself, being happy with yourself, accepting yourself, all of those things mixed with this natural breathing. Okay, so you learn how to be quite peaceful, and like open like the space of the sky, and so okay, there's a little angry cloud, and there's a happy cloud, and there's a culpa mi culpa cloud, all of the different clouds you have as Mexicans. I have one friend, and I'm a Canadian, and I'm not Catholic. So I was doing some social activity, but I always tend to leave early. And so he said, you always leave early. Why do you always leave early? And I said, don't put a guilt trip on me. No culpa por mí. Yo no quiero esto. So I'm sorry. I'm telling you stories, okay? Anyway, so when you're meditating, you're open like the space of the sky. Okay, so you have to think, okay, there's that angry me, angry cloud. It's not me, it's just a circumstance, maybe this person, some ugly words, maybe some chisme. Okay, but no, che tranquilo. My tranquilo es más importante de esto. Okay, then maybe like a happy thought, but then you don't get intoxicated with your happy thought, like, somebody loves me, I'm so happy. No, that's okay, tranquilo. Now, you will get more happy. It's not like you don't reject love, but you just become more peaceful. So then you're not needy. Right? Es muy interesante. Con amor, there's muchos tipos de amor, pero un tipo de amor es con mucha necesidad. Muy posesivo. This is no amor verdad. es más una inseguridad. Anyway, entonces, so you meditate. I'm going to describe it, but for right now, I create a little bit of personal space. You can use the analogy of like, oh, I'm really my being is open like the space of the sky, beautiful, clear. Okay, sometimes maybe there's some clouds like rain, sometimes maybe there's wind, but it's temporary. I am the open space of the sky. I'm peaceful. Okay, so that's just an idea, but it's helpful. Now, the way that you develop that though is your natural breathing. So we're going to do 4 steps. Okay, so first take a comfortable posture. It's not torture, so if you have to move, it's okay, but you try not to move, okay? So take a comfortable posture. Okay, now when you sit, you don't sit like this. Although you might think, oh, I'm very relaxed. No, you can't breathe properly. Like if I sit like this, maybe my lungs, mi pulmones, is like only like 70%. Okay, if I sit like this, they're at 100% possible. Also, you want to be breathing a little bit from the diaphragm. This is just yoga, if you yoga. So you sit reasonably straight, but not like too stressed, like the body is comfortable. Put your shoulders just back a teeny bit, just to be open-chested. Your hands can be on your lap. So normally they put left hand down, right hand on top, thumbs touching. But you can also do your hands on your knees if you want. That's okay. Both are suitable. And there's fine details, but let's first just meditate a little bit. Okay. So take a comfortable posture. Be fairly really comfortable. Now, one thing that's good, and this comes from the Japanese style of Buddhism, is take one big breath, like, because by doing that, you let go of like some emotional luggage, some etapaki de la, say, stress or otra cosa. It's very good technique. So take a comfortable posture. Now, as you feel comfortable in your body, the first of the 4 steps is you move your attention to your natural breathing, but you just label it. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Such a simple exercise. But that's all you want to do. We're going to do that for at least 1 or 2 minutes. You will get distracted. That's just natural, but you're training yourself. So body is comfortable. Natural breathing, no special control. You're peaceful. And it's just, oh, okay, I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. That's all I want you to do for the next 2 minutes. Continue meditating. They say that on average we can only hold our attention for about 15 seconds. So it means is that when you sit and you're attentive to your breathing, within about 10 to 15 seconds you'll start thinking about something, which is okay. So just recognize that that's okay. It's called sort of the monkey mind, very easily agitated mind. So just let go of whatever you were thinking about when you realize that you've been distracted with some thoughts, and return to natural breathing, merely the etiquette de la respiration, only the label of inhalation and exhalation. Step number 2 is to try to be attentive to the whole experience of an inhalation, the whole experience of an exhalation. So you're expanding the vista, the panorama of your awareness, the full experience of an inhalation, beginning, middle, end, the full experience of the exhalation, beginning, middle, end. Please do that for 2 minutes. Remember, if you start thinking about something, when you recognize that you're thinking about something, just let go and return to natural breathing. The full experience of an inhalation, the full physical, sensual experience of an exhalation. Now the third step is include the sensations of your body generally as you inhale completely, as you exhale completely. It's a slight expansion of your attention, more inclusive of the full experience of an inhalation and an exhalation. As you continue with the meditation, you may discover there's a little bit of stress in your shoulders or your back or your neck. Just try to relax those. Your main attention is on the full experience of your inhalation, exhalation. You're just sort of fine-tuning your experience with relaxation and mindfulness. The fourth step in this mindfulness meditation is I inhale peace, I exhale peace. I have the full experience of my inhalation, exhalation. I've included my body a little bit. And I inhale peace, I exhale peace. As you continue with the meditation, just try to think of that your being is open like the space of the sky, peaceful, clear. And whatever thoughts and feelings arise, they're just like a cloud. Because if you just stay peaceful, they do disappear. Just like a cloud might appear and then disappear. I am the open space of the sky, peaceful, bright. So the special thing you should remember is it's my breathing, my awareness of my breathing, and the sensation of being relaxed. You're tying those two together, so that in the future, especially as you become more familiar, then when something intense starts to happening, something in your family is bad, or someone cuts you off with their car, which is very common in Mexico, isn't it? that you can go, and you take your mind to your breathing, and automatically it's like you go to a jacuzzi, sort of like, it depends on your awareness, but the more familiarity you have, you can go to that place of peace, but the doorway to it is your breathing. And it's from just familiarity. It's not that complicated, and nothing religion or anything. It's just, okay, this person's really intense, okay, just take a breath. Okay, and then you get a little bit of control, and then suddenly the situation changes, because normally it's just sort of like, you react, So it's, okay, and even if you react, one of my Tibetan lamas said that the first moment of reaction, we have no control. And so it's good to understand that, like, you have no control. But the second moment, you can say, okay, I'm getting really intense, okay, you want to come home, then you sort of try to calm down and stuff. Or you can use mantra, there's all sorts of things you can do. But that gives you more control, and then you can respond, in a better way, in a more constructive way. So, just keep it in that mind that, okay, if I can just do 15 minutes a day, that's a little, 15 minutes a day. You have 24 hours, that's a lot of time. I don't know how many minutes that would be, but it's a lot of minutes. So 15 minutes, and scientifically they've proven that the people improve. And that includes, your grades in school, your stress level, your immune system, which I find so interesting, but it actually is scientific that they say your immune system gets better, and such. And then there's a whole bunch of other, minor things, but like in memory and such, so all of those things improve. And what you're doing is you're getting happier. So, I remember the Dalai Lama said it this way. He said, the more you're able to be at peace with yourself, you could say the floor of happiness comes up, or the foundation of happiness comes up. So it's not like you become apathetic, I don't care anymore, no is importante. No, it's completely wrong. No, it's like I'm present, and being present, then, I'm more in control, I'm happy. So it's a nice thing. I'll share a story. In Canada, I had a meditation center there for 18 years, and one day a lady came, and she was an artist, and she was very creative. But if you know artists, they're quite eccentric, a little bit eccentric, because that's why they're artists, yeah. So anyway, she came and she said, my husband and I, we fight all the time, we get really passionate, we throw dishes at each other, and we're like, this is Canadian, yeah. So it's not only Latinos. Anyway, so she said, so I don't want this anymore, I'm going to stop, She says, okay, well, come, we meditate. So for about 2 or 3 months, she came, once a week we did meditation, and then she did it at home. Anyway, and then after about 6 months, then one day I was at the house, and there was at the door. Okay, so I opened the door, and it's her husband. Okay, but what's he going to do? He's going to attack me, I don't know, this passionate man. And then he says, hello, and he said, took my hand, and he said, thank you so much. And I says, okay, why? He says, my wife is so much better. Anyway, so it's not that, it's just she got more in touch with herself, more in control of herself. And so I thought that was a very good recognition, or like you say, qualification for just the benefits of just meditation, that she got better control, and then the marriage improved. He meditated a little bit, not so much, but she continues. It's been 30 years, and she still meditates quite regularly. So I just share that as a story to say that you don't need to think of that you have to meditate for years and years. The scientific investigation said 15 minutes in 2 months, you'll start having results. And if you continue for a couple of years, obviously, then it gets really good. And you have this doorway, this yabe, to sort of say, okay, something's getting intense, okay, take a breath, okay. And then as soon as you do that, then you go to this state of consciousness of being a little more peaceful, or I like to call it personal space, sort of like suddenly it's not like this person's right inside of me, which can happen, but it's like, okay, I got a bit of personal space. I'm not just going to be reactive. And, people's energy can be strong, I mean, when someone's angry at you, it just sort of grabs you and you want to get angry right back, And so you go, okay, hey, wow, you're a really unhappy person. It's so funny. Anger is such an interesting thing. When someone's angry, if you actually recognize they're just very unhappy, and their idea of happiness is to abuse you. But that's not very skillful. But it's a really good thing to remember. Like when this person's getting angry, they say, "Oh, this person's very unhappy." So we put them in a better context because normally we just get defensive, don't we? We sort of, I didn't do this. No, you didn't understand me. So, okay, whoa, this person's just very unhappy. And then looking for happiness in all the wrong ways. That's the other thing. I mean, anger doesn't solve problems. Being firm and clear, that solves problems, but you don't need to be angry. Anyway, so normally I like to do just like 30 minutes of meditation. That's what we've done. We have now the 4 steps, okay? So give me step number 1.
Yeah, get comfortable.
Okay, with the 4 mindfulnesses. Okay, step number 1.
The breathing? No.
Well, okay, what about the breathing?
Focus on the breathing.
It was etiquette. It's label breathing.
Label breathing, like the key to your peace, like.
Yeah, but it's just label it. I'm inhaling. Label it. I'm exhaling. That's the first one. That's okay. Because it's your first class. So it's okay. I'll give you a medium mark. Okay. Okay. Is it Laura? Yeah. Okay. What's step number 2?
Como hacerlo profundo.
No, en todo de experiencia. So, from the primero momento de inhalación, the medial parte, the último parte, and the primero momento de exhalación, the medial parte. Eso es the second etapa. Okay? Tercera.
Con el cuerpo, ¿no?
Yeah, yes, she gets the best mark. No, it's just not good mark, bad mark. They don't keep it. And then what's the 4th one? Total. The 4th one.
The 4th step? The peace or the space?
Yeah, peace, yeah. So, I label, etiqueta, toda la experiencia, con mi cuerpo, paz. Just those 4 things. And that's so when you go home, you can just say, okay, I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. It catches your attention. And then you try to make, okay, this is a full experience. Wow, a full experience. And then you say, okay, what's my body doing? Oh, okay, it's not like a big thing about your body, just to you include your body. That's step number 3. And then I'm inhaling peace, and exhaling peace. Okay. So those are the 4 in relationship to your, it's called mindfulness with body, or breathing. The second 4 is about emotions. That'll be next week. Because it's a little bit harder, but there is mindfulness of emotions. Okay? So, at this particular point then, the 4 steps. Again, step number 1.
Label.
Good. Step number 2.
Experiencia completa.
Yes. Label number 3.
Body.
Label number 4.
Peace.
Yeah. You got A. The best. Okay. So that's it. So in line. I'm sorry, but you had an English class and a meditation class, so I hope you enjoyed. Big hugs, everybody. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to